So I think what a panel, I think, which I was fortunate enough to join earlier, and I could listen to the discussions. So once, it was a very, very interesting panel, and a lot of discussions and around, and nice to see my friends in the panel, Premnath, Tasleem, and Dr. Arya, Dr. Chatterjee, all of them, everybody there. So in the panel, it was really nice. So let me start by firstly thanking FABA and Professor Adenna, Professor Dr. Ratnakar, Dr. Uday, Ajit, Jagdish, and Dr. Arya for allowing me to come to this interesting 2 days of discussion. And what an apt time to do it when we are celebrating our Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. And we just concluded our 75th Independence Day celebrations, which our Honorable Prime Minister gave a very strong clarion call on two important things, which really matters for all of us in this 2 days of webinar. Is firstly to make India a developed world by 2047. I think this is one of the biggest clarion call which our Honorable Prime Minister has given. And second, adding one sentence to Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan to Jai Anusandhan. That is the innovation element into our mandate of making India a DC or developed country by 2047. I think these two things literally ignite, innovate, excite us to take, our work to the next levels. And really exciting time to work in India, where, if you see our India story on innovation, which, started almost a decade or a decade and a half back, when, organizations like BIRAG was created by that time visionary secretaries, Professor Bhan, Dr. Sarup, Professor Vijay Raghavan, and now Dr. Rajesh Gokhale. I think everybody is pushing us all to think of innovation and take ideas to solutions and then to impact the quality of life. And that is very, very important, which all of us need to work on. And innovation has to be done, I think, from the very grassroots level. And what, my colleagues Premnath and Tasleem spoke about is that how to take risk-taking efforts at the grassroots level. I should say here that the innovation is not only the strong science, which again some of the panelists mentioned. We need to understand how the science can be converted into a business by understanding the IP issues, the business plan development, getting how to get it funded, and then mixing all of these to take the innovation to the next level. We call it a 360-degree innovation management, which needs to be really, really brought into the innovation structure. Of course, it has to be a strong science. And this has to come from a very grassroots level. We should all work together to ignite our undergrads, the postgrads, the PhD students to think about innovations, to take them to that level. This again, the panelists said, and I will repeat that, is that, funding these days is not a challenge. If you have a good, very smart innovation, as a funder, we look for programs to be funded. We also call it sometimes hunt and fund. We look at good, interesting projects to be taken forward to. But innovation has to be really smart, which has to have some strong scientific relevance. But as Dr. Chatterjee also mentioned, it should talk about the business element into it. It should talk about the element of, how to take, and Dr. Narayanan also mentioned, is the business, the legal aspects of it. So we need to really, nurture our innovation, but the innovation community, the people who are coming into innovation, to think about these lines, to create a strong innovative programs to take it forward. Premnath also mentioned about risk-taking innovation, and that within the funding agencies, we are also have to be very, very strong enough to fund high-risk innovations and support them to, and not to pull out the carpet in between, so that, the innovations, the innovators are, quite supportive in taking, their innovations to the next level. The hand-holding has to be there into certain level. Within the government system, we are trying to create these hand-holding mechanisms in place. And one of the examples is the first hub, which BIRAC runs on every first Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. And we used to call it Open Darbar, where the funding agency sits, DBT, BIRAC, Indian Council of Medical Research, the Drug Controller General's office is represented. We get the GEM, the government procurement system into that Open Darbar. We get the Bureau of Indian Standards into the meeting as well, just to handhold innovators to navigate these challenges. And the IP team also sits there, just to help them to navigate these challenges, that not only get some solution or get contacts into these agencies as well to get some solutions to take their innovations to the next level. Because not only funding and supporting them, our incubation networks, I think Tasleem and Demnath are both here. Apart from that, we have almost 7 strong incubation network in this country, supported by almost 73 bionests, which are these hub of innovations. We have created these facilities along with the mentorship. Mr. Chatterjee also mentioned that mentorship is the critical element to get funded. We understand that these incubators are a strong hub of very strong mentors. I think the idea is not only to get the innovators to tell them where to get the fund from, what is the space, what is the landscape, but to connect them to the mentors. So I think that is a very important role which through BIRAC system we are playing, and literally supporting them, making strong backbone where the innovators can come from the academic setting, from the student levels as well, get hand-holding and take them to the next level. Premnath mentioned about the COVID example, and I had the privilege right now to read the National Biopharma Mission as well as the Mission COVID Suraksha also. And that has literally, it is a very strong story, the ventilator story, which Shrikant Sastri's book, which Dr. Chatterjee also mentioned, one of the examples. But there are very number of examples. If we remember, February 2020, March 2020, we were struggling to get a lot of things like PPE kits, the thermal scanners, the masks, sanitizers, ventilators. Our innovation community that literally came up to the expansion. The government supported it. We had a quick challenge funding round as well created within the system, but the innovators, ultimately the science, the innovation has to come from the innovators. They came up and made us self-sufficient in all these elements, and that thanks to the innovation community, their mentors, and the incubation network which has been established across the country. They really helped them to take them to the next level. The same story is with the diagnostic as well. And now almost there are 30, 40 diagnostic programs, kits available around the system to take the innovation to the next level. The another important thing which and I think Premnath also mentioned is the infrastructure support which was created. We had created around 35 clinical trial sites in our country, which was initially to started with COVID in mind, but now these sites can be used for other pandemics, other disease indications to be tested on or tried on. So that infrastructure, not only the clinical trial sites, the bioassay laboratories, animal challenge facilities, the immunological labs, all have been created to really address the innovators where people can go and use these facilities to take them to the next level. So I think COVID has taught us, but the government has created these backbone of infrastructure which we can take it to the next level. Finally, the thing is, we can go to a certain level, governments can go to a certain level to support innovation, to fund to a certain level. The incubation networks can come to a certain level. The venture funds are there available, they can go to a certain level. But our role, the funders' role in the government setups, the incubation centers' role, and you all as a mentor, and in the academic community, in the startup community, we need to really encourage the young innovators, the academic innovators to come forward, to take the risk and to take their innovation, not only get an innovation, publish a paper, but take that innovation to a level where it can be de-risked, it can be commercially exploited. I know I agree with you all that all innovations will not come to that level where it can be commercially exploited, but we are there to take a risk. The risk funding is available right now. We should encourage the network of incubators should encourage, take the innovation to a level where it can get commercially exploited and the country can benefit. Because to make India to that league of innovation, we should jump at the very high levels to reach to that level of 2047, which the clarion call the Prime Minister has given. The innovation community, the startup community needs to be very, very encouraged. Before I close, I would like to repeat a line of Swami Vivekananda. The day you do not come across with a problem, take it for granted that you are trotting in the wrong path. The problem will be there. Problem will be there, but we need to really handhold innovators to guide them through that problem so that the innovation can reach to a level where it can be actually be successful. It can impact the society, impact our country, and impact the global community. That is what my message to all you will be. Once again, heartiest thanks to all of you for the invitation today. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir. Ajit, do you
Uh,
want to take?
Jagdish, can I just apologize?
Sure.
Oh, sorry, Ajit, you're here. I just wanted to apologize to Shirshendu. Anyway, Shirshendu, you've had such a brilliant career. I would not have done justice by introducing you. So my apologies again. Yes.
No, absolutely, Uday. Thank you, Uday. And yeah, Shirshendu, I wanted to, on behalf of FABA, I wanted to thank you. I think you have been spearheading lots of efforts. I think the greatest has been the NBM, the COVID Suraksha, which many of us have been, part of. It's amazing to see how, hands have been coming together to support the national mission, in particular with regard to COVID Suraksha. And you have been helping out on all the, Welcome Trust and Bill and Gates, foundation. So you have seen all, all the efforts that are going on. And thank you for supporting on behalf of Government of India. I know there are a lot of startups here who will certainly look forward to your support and guidance, as they grow in their role and take the company to the next heights. So thank you. Thank you for giving your talk.